What's going on, tubers and trolls? Chris here with Telesplash Gaming, but I know you didn't stop in to see the troll himself. You're here to watch your girl, JLuv81.
We're only doing a collab with the amazing one and only JLuv81.
Hey everybody, it's your girl JLuv81. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about which version is the better version, Probotector or Contra, Probotector 2, The Return of the Evil Forces, or SuperC. So I have my buddy GaZ from GaZ Love Games. I will leave a link in the description below of his channel. He is from South London, so he grew up playing Probotector and Probotector 2, Return of the Evil Forces, and I grew up playing Contra and SuperC. So he's going to be representing the PAL region, and I'm going to be representing the North American region. So let's get started.
Who loves games? Yes, mate. So, we've been wanting to cover some information about our favourite Contra and Probotector games for a little while now. And when is a better time than now the Contra collection is out and people are reliving those glorious retro classics. So one thing about the Contra collection, and maybe a lot of people don't know, is it does include the Probotector versions that we got in the UK and in Australia. The Contra collection actually includes a couple of Probotector versions, but only for the games that are on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive. There were actually different versions of the original Contra games as well. So on the NES Nintendo, where we had Contra, you had Probotector for the UK, and then where you had SuperC, which was the second console home-based Contra game, we have Probotector 2, Return of the Evil Forces. So why are there these two different versions? What is that all about? So essentially, when the games were released for the UK and Australian PAL regions, there was a lot going on in the world, and it was kind of deemed that portraying more war and violence using soldiers was not a good thing. So what they actually did was, instead of having to change a lot about the game, or maybe not even release it at all, they just decided to overskin the main lead characters, and hence the Probotector robots were born. Now, I've always grown up with the Probotector games, and I just absolutely love the robots. Playing Probotector in the early days when they came out, the internet wasn't even a thing, so you had little awareness of what else was going on around the world. So I didn't even know that there was a Contra version. I just knew Contra as Probotector. They're the games I've grown up with, they're the games that I love. But I think JLuv's got a few things to say about that and would like to show us some gameplay of the Contra versions as well. So we're both going to give you some of our fondest moments, talk you guys through some gameplay, and then we're going to kind of do a little bit of a comparison and give you some of our thoughts at the end. Which is the superior version? So here we have it, my favourite metallic Probotector character. So many fond memories of playing this game, trying to work out the best places to stand and shoot to try and avoid taking those hits. It's a one-hit game over, hard as nails, and no matter how hard you try, you will end up eventually coming across You're going to see the game over screen a lot in this game, but eventually you'll get better on playing it, and you'll pick up some better guns like this spread shot here, and it will help you to really progress through those levels. I just love the soundtrack. I love all the different bits of music, and I like the way they mixed up the gameplay. So first of all, we're side-scrolling, and then we're running, shooting straight on to try and work our way through the base level. It's something that I really like about the first game, is the different dynamics in playing sideways and then playing into the screen. So the bosses, as ever, are really difficult and also really awesome on this game. I just love the skill that it takes. I love the fact that now with Probotector you've got robots versus robots. Probotector 2. Now there was always something I loved about this, just starting in this kind of decaying urban environment. Pretty contrast to starting off in the forest or jungle in the first game. Now as ever, the music, the soundtrack is just fantastic in this game. It's also very hard, so there's going to be lots of you are going to die a lot. Oh look, we've gone Predator style, invisible. the old NES and its weird little bugs. But you're going to try on this game, and you will just eventually get better, learn where the hitboxes are. It's going to take a few goes to get through the bosses. I really love this helicopter. There was something about it, I think back in the day, it took me so many attempts to learn how to actually get past this boss without taking damage and like losing too many lives in the first level. Because as we all know, these games are hard. You want your lives for the end of the game. Yes, mate. So, just like we had in the first game, and on Probotector 2, we've also got the variety of levels where you're not just side-scroll shooting. So here we're now actually wandering around freely in a completely different type of game. Again, the levels are fairly challenging. You've got to be able to work the angles, work your shots, and just practice and get better at the game. The bosses do continue to get hard and be hard throughout the game, but I love the variety. They're just incredible and they're just really, really fun. The game just continues to deliver a variety of different sceneries to keep the game interesting, a variety of different enemies, and I just love the fact that there is still that challenge, and no matter how hard you So again, you've got to get better weapons, you've got to get good at the game, and you've just got to learn where to stand, and yeah, it's going to take quite a bit of practice. No matter how many times you try on this game, you're going to see the screen a lot. I love it. Oh, sorry guys, I was just dreaming about more Probotector and Contra. I just get kind of lost in the gameplay. It's just such a great set of games. I just love them. So what is my superior version? Look guys, I grew up with the robots. I love Probotector. For me, Probotector is always going to be my number one. But hey, we also got this great series and this great game called Contra. Fantastic. It's like double bubble, two great versions, two very different. JLuv, what's your favourite version? Maybe we should leave this up to you guys to decide. What is your favourite version? What version is superior? Do you go Contra or do you go Probotector? Maybe we should let you decide.
Thank you guys, I really appreciate your feedback. So I'm going to be talking about Contra. Contra came out on the NES here in North America in 1988. The arcade version came out in 1987. So there are differences between the two. Ours is the exact same as the one that came out on the Famicom in Japan, but they have a lot more background animation and they have cutscenes that we did not have. So they're a lot more advanced when it came to that. But the differences between the two of ours and then the ones that the European region got is, I want to say, besides the fact that they swapped out some of the sprites. Obviously, we got the human sprites and they got the robots. We got the two soldiers, Bill and Lance, and they reminded me, which is funny because back in the day, I already knew when I seen them. I thought it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. It looked like Rambo meets Commando meets Predator. So that's what I imagine playing as. That's exactly what they look like, especially in the title screen here. And this game was so much fun. Now back then I had no idea, obviously, about Probotector. So they had Contra. It was like a run and gun, fast-paced action game, which is what I liked. It was side-scrolling, and then they had some stages that were 3D view. So I thought that was pretty neat. But What annoyed me was you get hit once. One bullet will kill you instantly. So what annoyed me with the 2-player cooperative mode was anytime you died, you can actually steal lives from the other player. And they used to do that to me all the time. It was so annoying. And if you played like the stages, like the waterfall stages, and you have to constantly move up, and if you like advance too much, the person on the bottom didn't get to, you know, be equal with you, they're gonna die next. So it was just really annoying, but so much fun. Of course, my favorite weapon was the spreader. And if you lose that, it gets a little bit difficult. My personal secondary weapon is the machine gun. The other weapons, I really wasn't a big fan of. I thought they were a lot slower, but yes, this game brings back so many memories. I played it religiously. My cousins would come over, they would bring it with them. So we played it a lot. The soundtrack was amazing, just so much fun. And it's just a matter of memorizing the patterns because the game's unchanged. The cool thing about that is if you look at the differences side by side between Probotector and the Contra games, besides the fact that the characters were changed from humans to robots, some of the enemies were different as well. Some of the color palettes were different as well. So, for example, the end of the game. In the end of the game, we flew away from the island in a chopper, and they had a cool jet that they flew out of. So I thought that was pretty neat. But besides those small differences, the game is the same. It plays the same. So I thought that was pretty neat. So let's talk about SuperC. SuperC. I didn't know in the beginning that was Contra 2 because it was SuperC. I didn't understand the whole title change. But when I realized it was Contra 2, I loved it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, I favor this game more than Contra. This is what I've known and I grew up with. It's a little bit faster paced. They look a little bit sharper and just a lot of fun. They did away with the 3D view and now they have the overhead view, which I actually like better. It's easier to maneuver. I love this game. It is a lot of fun. Now, the same thing, you have the same 2 characters, Bill and Lance. Player 1, blue pants, player 2, red pants. Same thing with Probotector. Probotector, you had player 1 that was gray. Player 2 was actually blue. So I thought that was pretty neat. And just like the first game, you pretty much have to deal with an alien invasion. The Red Falcon, you know, in the first one that you beat at the end, you're pretty much trying to prevent the aliens from taking over the world. So we have to go and kick some serious butt, and that's what we're doing here. Like I said, the same thing besides the swapping of the robots and the humans, you have differences in some colors. Like example, the helicopter here in level 1, the boss level, total different. Even the look of it is different. Ours is green, Probotector, it's blue. So there's some slight differences like that, which I think is pretty awesome actually, but same exact gameplay. So here in SuperC, our version in North America came out in 1990. Now, the Konami code that applied to Contra and Probotector, they gave you the 30 lives. Ours, SuperC, gave you 10, where Probotector 2 in the European region, they actually still got 30 lives. Why that is, I have no idea, but I thought that was pretty interesting to find out. The gameplay is exactly the same. They actually have Probotector references in other Contra games. For example, Contra 4 on the DS, you can actually play one of the Probotectors, which I think is pretty interesting. Now, if you really want to know, besides the sprites and the color palettes, the differences between the 2 games, it's mainly in the manuals, the story. The story of Contra and SuperC are different than Probotector and Probotector 2. Obviously, they're in the future, and for us, it's in the present, which is 1987 or so. So that's the 2 differences. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely look up the story. It's pretty cool. I am still trying to learn to speedrun this game. I am still trying to do a no-death run in this game. I'm good at this game, but not that good. I am not Captain Algebra. I am not Megadan. So the Mega Powers are freaking awesome when it comes to playing this game. Unfortunately, I probably could make it to like stage 5, and then you'll have 1 death, and that was it. Which one is the superior version? Probotector or Contra? Probotector 2 or SuperC? Well, honestly, the answer is both. They are both the same game and they are both superior in our eyes. I'm gonna pick Contra and SuperC because that's what I've known. It's nostalgic. That's what I grew up with. So the same thing for GaZ. He loves Probotector and Probotector 2. That's what he's known. Which I'm not gonna lie, the robots are pretty cool. But it's all about opinions, preferences, and what you grew up with. So guys, which one do you think is the superior version? Probotector or Contra? Probotector 2 or SuperC? Have you ever played one or the other? Have you played both? Let us know down in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions on this. Did you even know there was a difference? Did you know that there was a Probotector? Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. So guys, check out GaZ Loves Games. He just hit over 1K. So we got to clap for GaZ. Who loves games? GaZ Loves Games. Thank you guys so much. I love to hear from all of you guys. I like to hear your opinions. I love when you guys do response videos. I want to hear more games that are different over in the European region or in Japan or here. I love to learn. This reminds me of the whole Ninja Turtles and Hero Turtles differences. I think that is pretty neat. You don't know these things when you're a kid, you know, and now that we have access to internet and YouTube, there's just so much to learn of what went on in the entire world. And I really like that. And I just want to thank you guys for also doing response videos. We did a collab not that long ago with my least favorite console, and I got quite a few videos in response to that. And I love to hear everybody's opinions. Everybody had such good points. So I want to thank the community, retro game community. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I'll see you guys later.